Why are you of all people here right now, Dalton? Don't you know that we are a family of some of the most well-known lawyers in this area? Despite all the effort that we put into you, you failed the bar exam and brought great shame upon this whole entire family. After that, we had to cut ties to your uneducated self, and yet, here you are today, at your brother's wedding of all places. Why did you think coming here today would be a good idea?
Hi, Mom. It's been a long while. I was invited to be at this wedding today, so that's why I'm here.
You were invited? What kind of nonsense are you going on about right now? There's no way any of us would be willing to invite a disgrace like you to the wedding of a lawyer today.
You're calling me a disgrace now? I get that I wasn't able to live up to all your expectations, Mom, but that doesn't mean you can call me something like a disgrace.
Stop whining about what I'm calling you. You failed the bar exam because you are too stupid to be a part of this family. All of that money, all those years of raising you into what I thought would someday become an even better lawyer than your dad, has gone to waste.
Mom, I tried my best back then, okay?
I bet, but your best was nowhere good enough to make you into a productive member of this family. Now stop acting like your trying your best was a good excuse for failing that exam. Do you think you can use that kind of childish excuse on everything that you fail at in life? If you don't come out with my excellent results in the end, then that means you wasted people's time, money, and efforts.
Hold on, though. Just because I failed it the first time doesn't mean that I can't take it again. You can take that exam up to 5 times, so me failing the first time wasn't the end of everything for me. I think you all cutting ties to me after something as simple as failing on my first try was way too much.
Listen here, Dalton. Your brother Seth went and studied way harder than you for that exam. And you know what? He went out and passed it on his first try. I feel like your dad and I were stabbed in the back by you for failing your exam after all the time and money we put into you. It makes me really embarrassed and infuriated just thinking about all of that. And now, you're trying to say that failing the first time, just because things might have not have gone your way during the exam, makes you one of the most, if not the most already worthless human in existence.
What?
Anyway, having a disgrace like you here at this wedding is going to lower the rest of this family's status. So, you leave this wedding venue right now.
All right, I'll go then.
Dalton, before this wedding starts today, do you mind coming over and introducing yourself to everyone? When do you think you can be over here? We're all waiting for you.
I'm sorry, Jessica. I think I'm gonna go back home after all.
What? What's going on with you right now?
Actually, I've been a bit hesitant towards all of this for a while now, but there's something I've been really needing to say to you about who you're getting married to today. Your husband is my brother, actually.
Wait, what? Are you serious? Wow. What an insane coincidence, I guess. Does that mean he's your brother from that family of yours that all went and cut ties to you a while back?
Yes, that's him. And actually, I just heard from my mom for the first time in years a little bit ago. And as I was expecting from her and the rest of them, they all said some really hurtful things about me.
No way.
I think me being a part of the wedding today is only going to make things worse for all the guests here. I wouldn't want to ruin your wedding since you've been looking forward to it for such a long time now. I know that today is supposed to be a very happy day where everyone's all excited about you. But I just can't be knowing they're all here. I'm really sorry for this, Jessica.
You don't have to be.
I promise that I'll explain a lot more about what happened back then to you another day.
Wait, Dalton, please don't leave my wedding.
What? But if I stay here with all of you, I might end up causing your special day to be ruined. All of my family, and I'm sure plenty of their guests, hate me.
I get that, but I invited you here today to be one of my special guests and to celebrate me while I'm up in front of you all. You are here for me as my guest, not theirs. And I have a right to choose who I want here to be with me, which means that no other person here can tell you you have to leave without my permission. Understand?
That, I understand, but...
Don't worry about them, all right?
But they had all been a really difficult family for me in the past, and I know that they won't like me sticking around this wedding any longer.
I know, but they're all my family now as well, right? If they say anything else or do anything else to you, Dalton, you come tell me immediately so that I can handle them myself. You got it? Even when the ceremony is in full swing, you tell me.
Are you sure?
Dalton, I cannot stand seeing you get bullied by that family anymore. Now, could you please come find me so that you can introduce yourself to some of my guests out here? And after that, I have one thing I'd like to talk with you about regarding Seth.
Okay, Jessica. I'll be right out.
You still haven't gone home yet? How much longer do you plan on sitting around at this wedding doing as you'd like? I'm telling you right now, if you try any funny business today at Seth's wedding, it will not go easy on you.
Mom, I would never do anything to mess with Seth or this whole wedding today. I'm just here wanting to enjoy it, and I want it to go smoothly, just like all the other guests here today.
But how much of what you're saying to me about that is actually true, Dalton? Anyway, I'm betting you're still single, right? Have you ever had a chance at finding someone who'd be willing to go out with you and get married? Of course not. A loser like you would never be able to find anyone that could love you back, since you failed your first attempt at the bar exam.
Stop that already, Mom. You want to know the reason why I failed that exam my first try? Because of you and Dad always pressuring me about how the family is a highly respected one since everyone in it is a lawyer and all that. By the time I had to sit down and take the exam, I couldn't focus because all I heard in my head was you guys yelling at me about how I needed to be perfect at everything.
Excuse me? All your dad and I were doing was providing you with the reasonable guidance you needed in order to succeed in this world. So don't start blaming the both of us for your failures.
Ugh, I knew you were gonna say something like that. Don't worry about me, though. I promise I'm not gonna go around this wedding today talking to any of your guests. And if any of them come to me, I promise not to tell them I was once a part of your family. Now, could you just leave me alone, please, Mom?
That's not the issue I have with you today. The issue I have is with you just existing in the same building as the rest of the family. None of us, not your brother, not your dad, and not myself, invited you to be at this wedding today. In other words, there is no possible way that you have a seat here with us.
You still don't get it then, do you, Mom? I wasn't invited to this wedding today to be Seth's guest. I was invited to this wedding today by my friend Jessica, who's the bride to Seth.
What? Wait, you know Jessica? And you called her your friend?
And she's not just any friend of mine either, but a very, very close friend that I've been talking to for a long time now. And as one of her best friends, I'm supposed to be giving a speech for her today.
I never knew that. Well, so be it. None of that matters to me anyway. There is still time before this wedding starts, and you cause all of this event to be ruined, so get out of here! Leave right now, Dalton. And you go apologize to Jessica, telling her that you have to leave. Right now.
Mom, I'm not leaving this wedding. I promised Jessica that I'd be here to celebrate her big day today, and I will not break that promise to her. And I have a speech to give.
Well, then don't blame us if anything really embarrassing ends up happening to you today.
What?
I am not playing any more games with you, disgracing the name of this family with your filthy tongue. In that speech of yours you gave today, you told everyone here that you were the younger brother of Seth. How dare you? I will not forgive you for doing something like that.
But all I said were facts during that whole entire speech, right? What's the big deal here?
Everything is a big deal after all those things you said about us and your brother. Ever since we kicked you out of the house, out of the family, we've told everyone that we only have one child now, and that we never had you. But now, after what you pulled during that speech, I'm being asked countless times by all the guests what's going on, and why I never said anything about you.
I see. Well, why not just tell them the truth about it then? Tell them that you disowned your son a while back because he failed the bar exam on his first try. They should all be able to understand that reasoning, right?
I already tried explaining all of that to them, but that's not the problem I'm having right now. The problem I'm having is that everyone knows that a failure like you exists now, and that you came from our family. This family, a family of lawyers, cannot tolerate having someone like you being known when we have so much pride we have to defend. Did you not notice there were some very professional guests at the wedding today? Some very esteemed members of the legal community that were there among the rest of the guests for Seth. Seth had it all lined up getting married today to someone like Jessica, and he was about to make it out of there with his whole career ready to go. Yet now...
And? What does all of that have to do with me?
What? Are you kidding me? Because of you and that speech today, Seth and Jessica's wedding is going to be called off today.
Oh, so that's what you're really upset about? Well, don't worry, because it's not about to be. It's already called off, Mom.
What? What did you say?
But don't think it's happening because everyone here now knows about me existing. It's because of the way you and Dad insult everyone who never passes the bar exam on their first try, like you were doing to me before cutting ties to me. And you want to know something crazy about that? Jessica's father also happened to not pass his bar exam on his first try, meaning you both should be feeling the same way about him now too, right?
That can't be true.
Everyone in that room today was not appalled at me for existing, but at you and Dad for the way you treated me, and treated others as well. Jessica's father was even saying he couldn't be bothered with scum like you anymore once he's heard about that. So in other words, this has all happened because of yours and Dad's behavior.
You're lying.
I'm not lying about this, Mom. The only reason you're wanting to blame me for all of this is because that's the easiest thing to do, right? Blame me for all your problems and then you never have to take responsibility for anything. Well, now everyone knows about how you treated me like trash and that you only see me as a failure and as a disgrace to your family just because I failed the bar exam one time. I'm betting that now the family's reputation of being very compassionate lawyers is seen as a farce, all because you treated one of your sons the way you did. It's only natural now that Jessica and her family would want nothing to do with all of you. This is all the result of your guys' own actions, so stop trying to blame someone else for them.
The reason I've been treating you like that is because you're a failure.
All right then, what about Jessica? If she were to make a mistake after marrying into your family, would you be kind and understanding of her?
I would at least go a little bit softer on her.
But you would still treat her worse than any self-respecting parent should, right?
No, I wouldn't. And why are you even asking me a question like that anyway? Unlike you, Jessica would never make the kind of mistakes you have.
It doesn't matter if she would or wouldn't. I just wanted to hear from you whether you would be kind to her or not, and from what you said, you made it sound as though you'd still be unfair and awful to her.
Enough of this already, Dalton. I see now that talking to you about all of this is a complete waste of my time. I'll go and talk with Jessica myself about this, and explain to her that she shouldn't hang out with piles of trash like you. And then, once I have her cut ties to you, you'll have no more friends, and nobody else to call family. And right there is the life of a failure like you deserve. Jessica, all of that about having the wedding and marriage canceled was a joke, right? Well, after hearing that from you, I've really put some thought into everything. This wedding is supposed to be about you and Seth, right? Yet it's all been about Dalton this whole time. I understand that things may not have gone as planned there, and I am very sorry for that. So please, let's just forget about everything that had to do with Dalton and focus on your big day with my son.
That wasn't a joke. Did you really think I was joking when I said to everyone that this wedding was over with?
What? Of course I did. Why would you ever want to give up this beautiful wedding you have here? With my son, of all people.
I can't believe this. Let me make myself very clear here. I would rather live the rest of my life as a single girl than have to marry into such a disgusting family like yours.
Jessica? I can't believe you would say something like that about us. That must be Dalton's bad influence getting into your head, right? That has to be. I'm telling you, Jessica, you shouldn't be judging our family based off only what a disgrace has told you about us.
Then why did you judge Dalton based off of one failed exam? You went and blamed him for not passing it the first time without even thinking about why that could have happened to him, right?
Jessica, I know that you are Seth's wife, but you cannot talk about me like that, okay?
Why not? You seem to think it was okay to talk about Dalton that way. He is one of my most dearest friends, and having to hear stories from him about the way you treated him broke my heart. Wasn't he your son? How can you say and do things like that to your own son? And all those times I saw Seth today making fun of Dalton alongside you guys? What a joke. The moment I started to realize that he was just as bad as both you and your husband have been, I started to lose my feelings for him. And that's why I'm going to be divorcing Seth.
No, Jessica.
And no matter what else you try and say to me about this, my decision is final. I am going to divorce Seth, one way or another.
I don't get it, Jessica. Why do you care so much more about someone like Dalton than you do your own husband and family? He's nothing more than a failed law student.
Because Dalton was the one who saved me. Him and I first met with one another when we were studying abroad over in the UK. I had no clue who anyone really was over there yet, and one night while I was on the subway, I started to get harassed by a group of guys. When I got off at the next stop, trying to escape them, they came after me and threw me to the ground. But just before they could do anything to me, Dalton came around the corner and told them all to screw off. And when some of them wouldn't, he pushed them down and told them to get up and run with him. If it wasn't for him coming to my aid then, who knows what those men would have done to me in that subway. Ever since that day, him and I have been best friends, and I have never felt so close to someone before in my life like him. And as for that one bar exam he failed, who cares? It was his first try, and he still had plenty more chances after that to try again and pass. It's not some kind of a crime to fail an exam. So how about you stop treating him like he's some kind of a criminal and lay off?
You might not be aware of this, Jessica, but in our family lies plenty of highly praised lawyers that the state count on for justice. And when someone like Dalton chooses to fail at their first attempt at the bar exam like that, it's the same thing as him committing a crime to our family. That is why in my family's eyes, our treatment of him was just.
Is that so? Then I guess there really is no point in trying to reason with you anymore. I have another plan up my sleeve though for you, so don't worry. Do you remember who the head of the law firm is that Seth has been working for?
Huh? That would be your dad, right? I met with him when Seth first went and started working for him there.
That's right.
So, what does that have to do with me?
I went and spoke with my father about all of this earlier. He's going to receive an official notification soon from the firm, but it seems like Seth is going to be let go now and won't be allowed to work for my father again.
What? That can't be true. Your dad is a very prestigious man, and his firm is known globally for working in international affairs. Seth being able to work under him is a big deal for our family as a whole.
Considering what a lot of the other lawyers here with my family today said about Seth, him continuing to work under my father would be a major downside to his law firm's reputation. My father is now planning on holding a major meeting soon, where he will not only announce that Seth and I will be getting a divorce, but that Seth will also be let go from his current position.
No, you can't let that happen to him. Seth is a very young and strong lawyer, and after a few years of working with your dad, he was planning to go independent.
Well, thankfully, him being let go will help accelerate his plans of going independent, right? Sounds like a win-win situation to me.
No way! But Seth doesn't have the experience he needs to go independent. Please, Jessica, go and ask your dad to reconsider what he's doing here.
I'm sorry to say this, but that's not going to help anything. When it comes to my father, once he's made his mind up about something and someone, it cannot be changed. And when it comes to what you said and did to my dear friend Dalton, a man that my father also happens to respect, you really sealed your son's fate. Neither one of us are going to forgive you for all of that now.
Jessica?
Now, before you cause any more problems like you've already caused today, give up and accept what's going to happen.
But I married into this family of very prestigious lawyers, which means that I can't give up. I have to protect this family's name by saving Seth's marriage and career.
I mean, I guess you don't have to give up then. The outcome is going to remain the same for you and Seth anyway. Anywho, from now on, please never text or call me again. If you'd like to talk to me, please go through my father, and I'll promise I'll respond to you then. Since we are all lawyers here, we all know just how important it is to have a good lawyer during situations like these, right?
No, Jessica, wait! Seth's career and his life! Ever since that wedding, our lives have all gone to hell for us. And as for Seth, he is completely out of it ever since being told that Jessica wants to divorce him. How dare you do something like this to us, after we went and cut ties to you, and I told you to stay away from the wedding. Do you feel satisfied with what you've done with us now?
Hello again, Mom. You're making it sound like all of that was my plan from the start. Let me just remind you that all of this was your doing and that I was just playing along with your game. If you hadn't said all those things about me and acted the way you did at your son's wedding, none of this would have had to happen to you guys. All I did was show up to a wedding that I was invited to by my friend who just so happened to be Seth's bride. And when I gave that speech, all I said was that Seth was my brother and that it was nice to see him again after so many years. I never once said anything about how you went and disowned me and for what reasons. You guys went and caused a scene right after that, which led to everyone finding out about your bad reputations. And that's all.
Always making crap up like that. You haven't changed one bit, have you? If only you had just left the wedding like I told you to, then my family wouldn't be having to go through hell right now.
You haven't changed one bit either, Mom. Still acting like a child, thinking that everything is about you and that family. Did you still think that by talking down to me like you did at the wedding, I'd be willing to actually listen to you? Maybe that's exactly what you expected to happen, considering how you treated me before and during my bar exam.
I was doing what I had to as your mother and as a part of this family.
And you think that gets you a cookie or something, treating me like you did? It sounds right now like you wish to be thanked for the way you raised me.
You should be thanking us for what your dad and I did for you.
Really, Mom? Then you must have forgotten completely what you'd done to me back then. Whenever my grades were bad in school, you know what you guys did. You would take my head and dunk it in a bucket of water repeatedly. And when my mock exam scores were not high enough for you guys, you'd force me to go without barely any food for a week. You guys also never allowed me to get a part-time job like all my friends were doing. And you'd never even let me hang out with anyone because you wanted me to lock myself in my room all day and study. All of that pressure led to me getting really stressed, and that led to me developing a few stomach ulcers. I told you about how the doctor said that to me and that I needed some time to rest. Yet you complained that I was a bad son and needed to work even harder. I know I failed that bar exam the first time because of the insane pressure you and Dad put on me. You can't blame me for not passing an exam that was treated like the decider between life and death in our family. I was stressed beyond belief, and halfway through the exam I broke my pencil with my grip because I was so afraid of what had happened after. I failed that first exam because of the way you and Dad and everyone in the family treated me. I won't thank you for any of that.
So you're still going to blame me for failing that exam?
Guess what, Mom? A year after you and Dad both chewed me out and disowned me, I went and took the exam again. And when I did, I passed it.
No way. You weren't able to do that when you were with us. You should have been able to do it under our guidance. That must mean you just got lucky. Don't act like you passing had anything to do with us getting rid of you.
Do you have any idea how tough things were for me after you guys forced me onto the streets? I had to go out and find work, and work close to 60 hours a week, all so that I could make ends meet for myself. I actually had way less time than I did at your house to study because of that. But I was able to pass the exam still, and do you know why that was? Because I was finally able to study at my own pace without having you and Dad screaming at me in my right and left ears.
I doubt that. You just got lucky, Dalton. Nothing about studying at your pace should have allowed you to pass the exam.
What would you know about the exam and studying for it anyway, Mom? You just married into a family of lawyers and have been a housewife the whole time. How come you always talk about how you're some kind of lawyer as well when you've never worked as one or even studied to become one? You're nothing more than Dad's housewife.
I'm still married to a very powerful lawyer, though, right? Which means I hear about his work all the time. And without me supporting him at home, he'd never be the man that he is today.
Sure. Whatever you say, Mom. By the way, did I ever mention to you my current job? Right now, I'm working as a corporate lawyer for this very large company. As you might have heard from Jessica already, I first met her in London while I was over there studying. I was actually there studying to get my international law license, and I passed that exam as well. From there, I worked as an international lawyer for some time alongside her father, and after a couple years, I then started working as a corporate lawyer for a very massive multinational company. But you haven't seen me bragging about all of that, have you? And that's because I'm nothing like you, Dad, or Seth, and don't give a crap about status.
No way. How? How could someone like you end up becoming so successful? Dalton, if you really are working in such a high-level field, you can be a part of this family again. And since I'm allowing you to be with us again, could you please help Seth get a job at that company you're in? If you were able to have the chance to start working for a company as large as the one you've told us about, I'm sure he'd feel better about what all happened. And if you're worried about whether or not he has the experience to work with you, I can vouch for him.
Are you serious? Now you want me to be a part of your family again? Wow. I never want to see any one of you ever again, Mom. I may be your biological son and all, but you guys were the ones that went and abandoned me. I really cannot understand how the tables have turned just like that. Now you're wanting my help with Seth? No, thank you.
But he's your brother. Are you really just going to abandon him now?
You really think I want to hear that from the person who forced me out of the family over a single failed exam?
Because at the time I thought you'd become a failure.
Yes, I'm aware of that, after all the times you went and called me both worthless and a disgrace. But now that you're asking for help from a failure like me, doesn't that make you a failure as well?
I don't care if you or anyone else calls me a failure for asking this. I just need you to help Seth get his life back.
If this is what's led to his whole life being ruined, then I guess that means he was never cut out to be a lawyer, Mom. Now, don't ever talk to me again, please. Goodbye forever.
Dalton! Wait!
I was able to get that divorce from Seth with no real trouble at all.
Congratulations, Jessica. That's wonderful news.
You helped me with a lot of the paperwork for that divorce as well, so I have to thank you for all of that. I appreciate what both you and my father did for me.
I was actually asked by your father if I'd like to come back and work with him full-time again, but I had to tell him that I'm very happy with my current job. Maybe I'll consider going back to him if one day I'm let go by my company or something.
What are you saying, Dalton? No company would ever let go of such an excellent lawyer as you.
Thanks for saying that. Anyway, I'm really sorry for all the trouble my family ended up causing yours. Had I never went and attended your wedding, none of this would have ever had to happen, and you would still be married.
I thought I told you this already, Dalton. This marriage both myself and Seth agreed to was only done for Seth and your family's sake, it seemed. Seth never really loved me for me, and was only really wanting to be my husband so that he could have a 100% chance of moving up in my father's law firm. Back when I first started to even go out with him, all his parents would ask about is my father, and the kind of opportunities he could give Seth.
But you at least felt some sort of love for Seth, right?
Maybe a little bit. But even if that was really love that I felt, the moment I saw your parents and Seth insulting you with my own eyes, those feelings were gone. So please, don't worry about what happened with my marriage. It was all going to become a disaster someday anyway.
Thank you, Jessica. I've been wanting to ask you this then, or rather confirm this. Are you still going to be my best friend?
What? Of course I will, Dalton.
A few days after having lost his new wife Jessica to divorce, Seth tried to get back out in the world and find a new job at another firm. At first, it sounded like he really had some newfound energy and that he was really confident that he'd be able to find some work somewhere. But after being told off time and time again, he started to lose hope. Seth finding a job was never going to happen for him anywhere around this town, considering that all of the law firms heard about what happened, so none of them would take him. This caused him to once again lose any motivation to work and go out, and now he spends all his time in his room, back home with his mom and dad. My mom, on the other hand, hates having him around the house all the time doing nothing at all, and will get into arguments with him at least 3 times a day over it. The house ended up becoming such a terrible place with this unbearable atmosphere that my dad stopped going home to them after he finished work. I haven't really talked to any of them since that last chat I had with my mom before blocking her, but what one of my distant cousins told me, my dad is thinking of divorcing my mom and kicking her out of that house. I'm not sure what he'll end up doing with Seth after he kicks her out of his house, but I'm going to assume he'll be kicking him out as well. As for myself, I've been continuing my work after that incident and have a lot more energy now than I had before. And with Jessica having gone and ended her marriage with Seth, we still have plenty of time to see one another and go out quite often to see movies together or just grab a drink. We're even planning a trip back to the UK again to go and visit our old school there and some of our old friends from over in London. We're both really looking forward to it, and I hope we can take this trip sooner rather than later. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.